Hey, good morning, guys. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. You know, I love woodworking, and I've been doing it since, well, I took shop class in high school, but most of the stuff I really learned has been self-taught from trial and error and things. And I've got a great friend of mine, Alex, who's in his late 80s. He's kind of like my Yoda. He taught me a lot about being a general contractor and things like that, and actually exposed me to a lot of different jobs and things. He used to call me FF, excuse my language, but fuck up fixer. He would say if it's fucked up or you need a solution, go to Mark because he'll figure out a way to make something work. And a lot of times I'll end up doing jobs that basically that's really, we need a solution. The bulkhead at the American Indian Museum, where they had 3 companies come through and try and figure out how to make this thing, and the architect drawing the designs for it. We met with the architect, and I told him, I'm looking at his plans, I'm like, what you drew on here is not feasible. It can't be built like you have it on there. And proceeded to tell him how I could build it to make it work. In which case he turned around and did the drawings for it and charged them a boatload of money. I never looked at the drawings, I just built it. And it's there, been there for 2 years now, and be there probably another 10 years or so. And so that's the thing, that I have to be creative. So last weekend, I got with Terrence. Terrence, I used to work with Rife International. They have these great planters. And I'll show you, I'm getting ready to go over there in a bit. These planters that are, it's just hydroponic. So it's kind of like a Mexican chimney, and it's got a big base, it's a tank full of water, and it's got a pump inside of it. And then they have these stackable trays, and they can stack them however high they want to. It all connects and puts water into it so it drains in there. And then it's got places for the plant's roots to go in. So you can put all kinds of plants and stuff in here and have a whole garden as tall as you want in this thing. The only thing is, it's not real pretty. And so it's actually on top of a hardware store on a roof, and they want to make something as a display. So Terrence met with me and started, trying to brainstorm some ideas. And so here's what I came up with, because they have basically 3 of them. They're about 30 inches wide pieces, and they want to be able to put 3 of them together, but they want to make it look nice. So this is the concept that I came up with right here. They're real big. They're actually, this thing's going to need to be about 8 feet long. And you're going to need to be able to take out the end and have it open so that way they can roll them in there. And then you have to have the top pieces that will go around it, and then the planter will actually come up out of there. Then you can slide in the next one, put that cover in there, and so on. So you can get all 3. But wait, there's more. You'll be able to close it up, and you'll actually have to be able to sit other stuff on here if you want to, other flower pots, or people could sit down in between and so on, but have access to it. But he also wanted this to illuminate. So what we're going to do, and he wanted detail. So he wanted to have a lot of detail. So what we're actually going to have is, we're actually going to have a groove up underneath of here to hide lighting. So that way it'll wash over the whole piece and illuminate it. In the back of it, we're going to end up having controls for the lights as well as controls for the pumps. And this is just like a scaled up version of what hopefully they end up approving. So for me, this is where it's crazy, because he said, can you do a drawing of what you're going to build? And I started to sit down and do a drawing. And for me, it's painful. Paperwork gets to me. I have a hard time. I just hate paperwork. I am more of a doer. So instead of making the drawing, I said, let me just make this. And I made this in about an hour. Less time than it would have taken me to make the drawing. And so it was funny, because I sent a message to Terrence and said, Terrence, man, I can't do the drawing. I'm having a hard time doing the drawing. And so he ended up sending a message back, well, just try and do something. Then I sent him the pictures of that. He's like, yo, you built them. I love it. That's even better. So that's just how different minds work. And mine is kind of crazy. I'll be the first one to tell you. but I'm a very visual, hands-on type person. So let's go ahead and see what they think as far as this goes, and hopefully they like it. And this is what we'll build on an 8-foot scale out of mahogany, African mahogany, 1 inch thick. It's going to be a big piece, and it's got to be disassembled. So follow along, and we'll see how it goes with it. But it's not bad looking, is it? Not bad at all.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so these are the actual towers. The great thing about this is you can literally make this as tall as you want to. You can put all kinds of plants. You could put strawberries in them if you wanted to and all that. But it's not exactly the prettiest base and things on here. But if we end up making that nice wooden base, we're able to actually hide all of the inner workings, the plugs and everything else, have easy access to it, and then create like a sitting area where you can actually sit around by your plants and stuff. So we'll see how his meeting goes with about the final conceptual drawing. But I enjoy coming up with different projects and doing things. I'm one of those people that constantly have to have a lot of challenges to keep my brain functioning, and this would be actually a really fun piece to make.
Kind of like your initial model.
Yeah.
Being able to take this and take these guys who have kind of rusted out, you know,
To hide them.
faded out and everything else, and really kind of have this guy hide that case where it's gotten to the point where it's kind of deteriorated.
Well, the only thing you'll see, of course, will be, you know, the top of this will go to right here.
Right.
In which case, any water that spills off or whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
But it'll be able to go through.
Definitely. And the plus side is, you know, these can be changed out. This is something that we have plenty of.
Okay, so you can have nicer looking ones on it.
Yep. And I was about to say, he even has a couple over there.
What I would like to do when you're ready, I would like to, if I could take one of those just to make sure that I've got exactly the dimensions and everything on there to fit. I want to keep these. You don't want them too tight to it. You want to have room for it to be able to breathe and water to be able to drain with it.
Right.
But you don't want it to be oversized.
Right. But again, I think, you know, having that weep here, like having this little channel right here and letting the water drain through, because eventually you're gonna have some kind of water dripping off. This
Rain.
Yeah, rain. That too. Yeah, rain too. But you end up having some kind of moisture on the top, and I just want to make sure.
And that'll allow it to be able to breathe underneath of it, so that way it'll be able to dry out. Now we'll end up using the spar urethane on all sides of it and the ends and everything else, which will help to protect it.
I was just about to say,
and do it. So it's going to take more time than finishing if we were just.
Are you
going to
do it separately when you do that?
Yeah.
That casting, are you going to do it separately so that way these edges?
See, remember this side, these sides all come apart. So you've got this side, and the door.
How are you going to attach that though?
What do you mean? How am I going to attach
What's
it?
the quick way of your attachment?
It'll be the corner pieces. We'll actually have a corner spot in here that'll have actually set screws that are threaded.
Oh.
So you'll be able to take it apart and be able to reassemble it.
Okay.
So once I assemble it in the shop, it's basically like the factory made. So all you got to come through is probably be about 4 screws that go in here.
Yep.
You know, Allen key, tighten it up, boom, it's locked in place. Same thing over here.
You made this seem like an IKEA.
Better than IKEA. Okay, it's not particle board. And the same thing with here. It'll end up being that you have a locking point that'll go on here. So this will have the end on it. So once you put it in place and get the other piece in there, you'll be able to put the screws into it.
That's perfect.
So, I have to go home and think about these things after talking to people to figure out how to make it work.
Hence why I said, what, I gave you an idea of what I was looking at, and this looks absolutely perfect.
Okay.
It's
all right.
fun to put together here.
So the big question is when do you want it?
Well, the big question is, first, the big step now is, I think it'll be okay, but I want to show this to Mirage.
Okay.
And give him the same little download that you just gave me. And
okay.
Then, from there, next week, really kind of get started Monday.
Okay.
The ground running Monday.
All right. Sounds like a win. Well, that's a look at trying to get a job and stuff. The good news is I talked to Terrence, and it looks like we got to go ahead on making that. We have to make another sample one for a single as well, and so I got to make that one real pretty. But I'll be ordering about 120 board feet of mahogany at 5/4 thick. That's like 1.25 inches thick, so we can start laminating, putting that thing together. It's going to be kind of cool. Definitely going to be a challenging project, but I can't wait to get building on it in the workshop. Right now, well, I just got back from a 4-mile walk with the wife, trying to get this knee back in shape here. Whew. Hope you guys are having a great Sunday, and I will see you soon.